intro music. Ta-ta-ta-tam, ta-da-da-dam, ta-da-da-dam. We're ready for the next panel. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back. We will never let you go out again. Za svaki slučaj.
Dame i gospodo, sljedeća panel diskusija bavi se temom nema mjesta za zastarjelu tehnologiju, obnova zastarjele infrastrukture pomoću pametnih sigurnosnih rješenja. Moderator panela je Zoran Keković, profesor sa Univerziteta u Beogradu.
Pa dobrodošli, profo. Welcome, professor. Nice to
Bolje
have
vas
you.
našao. Welcome to everybody.
Will you introduce your panelists or shall we do it? What do you prefer?
Thank
Što
you.
vam je draže? Vi
Ja.
ćete ih predstaviti. Može?
Ja
O,
ću
super.
predstaviti.
Sanela godišnji.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zoran Keković, professor at Faculty of Security Studies, Belgrade University, and president of the Center for Risk Analysis and Crisis Management from Belgrade. These short panels are like trailers, since the scope of critical infrastructure is too wide and difficult to manage. But as agreed, new technologies are used to improve critical infrastructure protections and resilience and consequences, but implementing modern solutions are rather, I think, non-linear than linear. So emerging technologies produce emerging risks. Now at this session we have gathered people, experts with different perspectives from diverse background, providing diverse framework for our discussion. So let's start with our first panelist, Krešimir Kristić. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Krešimir, my friend with a huge experience related to critical infrastructure, especially in energy sector. Krešimir Kristić is president of Cybertrack EU organization. He has almost 4 decades of IT experience, including leadership roles, security manager, corporate IT, operational technologies, and security enterprise architect and strategist. In his daily work, he is responsible for information and cybersecurity, amongst the other, of the national critical energy infrastructure. So, Krešimir, according to you, excellent and huge experience, could you tell us something about your experience and how can organizations ensure that their infrastructure remains future-proof as technologies evolves?
So I'm thankful to the organizer, and also I'm honored to be with you today and to give you some words, some short presentation on my experience and my view of OT, operational technology, and also business IT technology, security, and safety. So in this mainly technology-oriented and technology-sponsored conference, I would like to stress the importance of holistic strategical top-down approach to the security and safety, and also to the resilience. So as the risk management system is the basis for the security, economically adjusted security measures. In the area of resilience and business continuity, business impact analysis is the basis for successful resilience. So there is 2 main pillars I would like to stress, and also the principle of defense in depth is also one of the most important principle in the approach to the securing IT and OT environment in our enterprises.
Thank you, Krešimir. Our next panelist is Dr. Almir Badnjević. He founded VerLab, a leading lab for testing and verification of medical devices in Europe. In 2014, he is professor and head of genetics and bioengineering at the International Birch University and has developed Bosnia's first bioengineering programs. In 2023, he was appointed director of the Agency for Identification Documents of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Almir, and having in mind your experience, could you explain and could you take a look regarding to the future? What trends in smart security solutions should government institutions be aware of to stay ahead of cybersecurity threats? And you can integrate that your response to the next questions. What are the implications of emerging technologies, since they also pose emerging risks, like AI, on the cybersecurity landscape for government smart security solutions?
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon to all of participants here, and of course to audience. Because I'm coming from a state institution, state institution which is taking care about something what is the most important, that's in fact identities. We are of course very aware about all of the threats and all of the possible, let's say, problems which can occur if we are not taking care about all types of security, not just the cyber security. Because IDDEEA is responsible first of all about the issuing all identification documents. We are responsible also about the data exchange between all institutions in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and also we are especially taking care about the communication, because we are using our own communication about it. Additionally, we are also responsible about the topics which are related to digital signatures. So let's say the digital transformation, digital identities, and other things are also under our competences. Yes, of course, they are, let's say, something what is real, what is something what we can really achieve now, and something what are wishes. And we know very well what we need, but also we are very aware about, for example, the budget, because as I said, IDDEEA is a state institution, and it would be very good, especially for the organizers and other ones who are preparing, in fact, such conferences, to make, for example, analysis of the budget, for example, for this year, of all state institutions, how much they planned to invest in, for example, in developing of cyber security solution, or even investing in cyber in all state institutions. When you analyze it and when you see it, you will see that it is not even enough for one institution for serious investment in cybersecurity. So I think that we don't have even the basic understanding of real problems, what can happen, in fact, through the cyber. So we must, I will say, we must swim between our wishes and our needs and something what is really, let's say, real, because when we are talking about the critical infrastructure, we need to take care also about the critical infrastructure in the point of view of some machines, which we are using, in fact, for personalization and production of our basic things, which are, in fact, the documents. Related to AI, which you mentioned, and other things, of course, we are aware of, and we are already using in different kind of our processes, AI. First of all, for some kind of data analysis, but also from that data analysis, we are trying to get information about some kind of predicting some events, but also for classification of some events, especially events which are related, again, for this production and other things. And at the end, we are trying to achieve, because especially now we started with our, let's say, developing of our real cyber security team. And that's the reason how we, let's say, collaborate with Andrea and the organization from which she is coming from, where we want to, in the next 1 year, to establish a whole team for the cybersecurity, who will work a little bit different and much more seriously in this point of view, because our final goal is, in fact, a zero trust, let's say, zero trust model, where we will not be able to allow anyone to enter any kind of the processes or something similar before we don't really are sure that is that person, and that person is trying to access any of our infrastructure from secure computers, secure devices, and other things. So that's some of our goals and something what's currently happening in IDDEEA.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Mr. Badnjević, for tackling these interesting and very important points. You mentioned communication, the importance of communication, which is crucial thing for understanding, for confidence, especially when we are talking about budgeting, and how to invest, how to provide enough investment for critical infrastructure protection, for security. So it is basic issue. Is the data, communication, and how to convince the key decision makers to provide enough resources for security reasons. Thank you. Andrei Avram, he is coming from Romania. Thank you, Avram, for participating in this very important panel. And Andrei is a dedicated engineer who is driven by performance and quality, offering comprehensive insight into industry standard products and solutions, with a primary focus on IT physical and network layers. His expertise extends to infrastructure suitable for data center application and enterprise solutions. Andrei, could you talk about how can businesses justify the investment in upgrading outdated infrastructures, which is very important, and how can organizations ensure that their infrastructure remains future-proof as technology evolves? Please.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. I believe that organizations can justify the investment in upgrading the outdated infrastructure by emphasizing the critical role it has in maintaining system security and operational efficiency. And we know that today a reliable IT infrastructure is crucial for supporting business needs. And both the security system and the IT infrastructure rely on a scalable and robust physical infrastructure to work properly. And even if we look today, for example, at the latest advancements in technology, like our colleague said, with AI advancements and maybe with network topologies and with new data speed demands, having a physical infrastructure that is reliable and adaptable to future growth is crucial. And even if you look, for example, also at security softwares, those can be far more easily updated and replaced. But overhauling a physical infrastructure requires a lot more disruption, and also it comes with significant downtime. And thus, these organizations, to mitigate these risks, they should invest in a reliable infrastructure to adapt for future growth and for future demands. And to answer also for your second question regarding how can organizations ensure that the infrastructure remains future-proof, I believe that here, specifically organizations could invest in flexible and scalable infrastructure that has been designed specifically with the modularity in mind and also keeping up with industry trends. But I believe the most important factor is having an infrastructure that has been designed with modularity in mind, because this strategy actually allows companies and organizations to adapt to future needs by just changing, let's say, a specific component rather than having to overhaul the entire system. And thus, with this strategy, will allow future adaptability and future growth. And also, if you would like to see such infrastructure today that has been designed with this scalability and modularity in mind, I also invite you to the Panduit booth that's here on the left, and together with our business partners, Cyanet from Belgrade, and Egal from Slovenia, and Atlas IT from Croatia are here to support you for these needs. Thank you.
Thank you. I like some points you mentioned, which are crucial for critical infrastructure resilience, like scalability, flexibility, which influence redundancy of critical infrastructure to be better prepared for different kind of scenario, especially worst case scenario. So my good friend from Australia, Rick Sher, used to say 10 decades ago, what are the three most important things in the world? Planning, planning, planning. It was 2 decades ago. Now, what is planning? So, Andrea Hrustemović, welcome, Andrea. She is expert associate for IT development and project management, Elektroprivreda BiH. Andrea Hrustemović is graduated electrical engineer, computer science, with rich experience in cybersecurity, IT digitalization, IT project management, IT budgeting, and various IT operational processes. She sets her focus on the security of OT. For the last 11 years, she has worked as cybersecurity expert and project manager in the biggest electrical utility company, Elektroprivreda BiH. In the last 2 years, she started developing her career as independent consultant for cybersecurity and digitalization. Andrea has been a board member of Women for Cyber BiH since its inception. So a lot of detail in your career. So Andrea, what are the biggest risks of relying on outdated technology in critical infrastructure?
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you, Adria Security Summit, for organizing such an interesting panel discussion about this really important and interesting subject like this one. Like you said, I work in Elektroprivreda, but I also work as an independent consultant, and as Mr. Almir Badnjević mentioned, for one project that is budgeted by the British government, which works on building the resilience and the cybersecurity capacities of the critical infrastructures. So I would say, from my experience in working in Elektroprivreda, where we have a lot of legacy systems, for example, in OT environments that you mentioned, my colleague Krešimir have already mentioned, we have a lot of those systems, and we know how in those systems the lifetime of the equipment is really long, and on the contrary, the security patches are not done really frequently. So I would conclude that the most important risk and relying on outdated technology would be cybersecurity vulnerabilities. So we also have economical issues, of course, because the maintenance of such equipment is really high. Then operational failures, which can lead to the shutdown of the system. And we had recently experienced really bad shutdown of the energy system, which reminded us on how important that part of the infrastructure, critical infrastructure energy sector is. So that is really important. Those are the most significant risks, I would say, relying on outdated technologies.
We are aware generally about the importance of legal and ethical issues related to critical infrastructure. So what do you think about the role of government regulation? How regulation play the role of regulation and legal issues in encouraging the adoption of smart security solution? How to push different kind of critical infrastructures, sectors, stakeholders, and they outsource companies to adopt, to implement AI solution and provide benefits. Also be aware about the risk that implementing that solution can produce.
I think that different sectors of the critical infrastructure are really differently regulated. And as we can look at the banking or finance sectors, those are really much better regulated, let's say, in Bosnia and Herzegovina than other sectors. So I would say that regulations are really important part of the improving our cybersecurity posture in general in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in all other countries. So I would say we are quite aware as a state who is going in the process of the EU integration. We are aware of the upcoming NIS2 directive, and we know what it brings and how it mandates the cybersecurity regulations and standards in critical infrastructure. But I have to say that we have to work in this field a lot. Because we don't have clear regulations in energy sector, we do not have clear regulations in energy law actually built in regarding the cybersecurity. So those are the really fields which we should improve.
Thank you. Thank you. When we talk about experience in Serbia, I know that generally it's not easy to convince many stakeholders about the importance of EU directive, NIS2 directive, and the benefits of implementing the directive. But Pierpaolo,
they will be aware when they will have to follow the regulations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is the really important part. When it's obligatory, then you are aware.
But we are generally focused on business as usual and daily business. But most of them are not aware of the fact that they are the part of critical infrastructure. So that's the problem. So
and a lot of sectors, I would also add, are not aware of that because that is not the primary business of those sectors. So that might be also the reason why they are not aware.
Thank you. Thank you. And Pierpaolo Piracci, welcome. Pierpaolo, Regional Sales Manager, Teledyne FLIR. Pierre is an accomplished professional with extensive experience in sales and marketing within the electronic security and safety sectors. Currently serving as the Regional Sales Manager at Teledyne FLIR, Pierpaolo focuses on leveraging sales management and business development to enhance security across critical infrastructures through infrared thermal imaging. His efforts have expanded market presence across Southern Europe, fostering strategic partnerships and providing comprehensive security solution. So, what do you think about all these points we are talking about? And I think one of the key challenges of security professionals today is how to measure security performance and its contribution to overall organizational goals. How to convince top management that security is important for organization, and how to provide metrics for security performance is a very important point for overall organizational goals and strategy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Zoran, for the introduction, for the profile. I like the way you presented my figure, and I would like to thank also the organization and the people attending here. And it was quite interesting to listening to the other panels here. Nice to meet you, first of all. And well, it's an interesting question. So the metrics is something very, very difficult, extremely difficult. In US, we say it's $1 million or $1 billion question, because how to measure the security levels is not even well enough studied or developed. So the metrics is not easy, but there are some small. Well, if you have a big problem, you divide the big problem in small problems. Is that the best approach of problem solving. So there are some metrics, as an example, how to measure the quality and the expected performance of a specific technology, because we should not forget that Teledyne FLIR, or let's say FLIR, a Teledyne company, security, in this case, where I belong in the business unit, we can suggest, we are dedicated, focused on teaching or spreading the information, the knowledge to the security professionals, also to any end users, also to the other players like integrators, installers, and distributors, how to understand what are the key metrics, objective metrics, how to measure the quality of a specific technology, of a specific sensor. So I can mention the thermal sensitivity, I can mention the false alarm rate, the detection alarm rate, detection accuracy rate of analytics. So there are some metrics. So overall metrics is very difficult, but if you go a bit deeper, if you zoom in, you can make some objective metrics. And just to go back to your other question, how to convince professionals or end users or stakeholders to invest more in better security technology measurements. There are again here there are multiple answers on that, because first of all, it's a matter of knowledge and also experience. Because Andrea said, well, we faced a big disaster. So what is experience? Experience is something that you already faced, and then if you face something bad, you learn from the bad experience to put in place some measures that can prevent this bad experience, bad events to happen again. But in this case, you are taking measures after the event, so you're already a damage. But what is the best approach? The best approach is to prevent. So what is the best way to prevent an event? Is to be faster, to counteract faster than anyone else. And so advanced sensing technologies where we work, so not only based on the standard perception, sensitive perception, like what we hear, see with our own eyes. So what is best? Best is to use different wavelengths, different so light that is not visible, or radio frequencies that we are not able to
Thank you for your input, but not only preparedness, but also adaptation strategies, how to be adaptable for different scenarios. We know scenario analysis is good for preparedness, for that kind of scenario, but scenario cannot provide knowledge, does it happen, that does it will happen. So that's, but anyway, scenario analysis is a good way for providing different kind of sources for adaptation, for behavior in different kinds of situations.
And also another best practice is to combine multiple technologies. So we call multi-layered technology approach. I would like to recall the Swiss cheese theory that is mostly used for preventing disasters like pandemic, or like chemical leaks or nuclear accidents. So the theory of the Swiss cheese is that the more cheese layers you add, because every slice of Swiss cheese has a hole. So there is the perfect technology doesn't exist. Perfection doesn't exist. So if you add multiple layers or multiple slices of Swiss cheese, you increase the probability almost to 100% or 99% to prevent the disaster or the
Thank you.
intrusion or the violation or the
Thank
security
you for
breach.
your thoughts. We are running out our time. We are opening the Q&A session. I would like to invite you to ask questions, to share your thoughts related to these items. If no, thank you very much for your contribution. I would like to invite all of you to the conference, international conference that will be organized in Belgrade in 17, 18 October in Belgrade, titled Critical Infrastructures and Artificial Intelligence Nexus, which will be dialogue among state representatives, inventors, and experts of artificial intelligence and operator of critical infrastructure to provide framework how implement AI solution within critical infrastructure sectors. Anyway, I think we should think about critical infrastructures because since the scope of critical infrastructure is very wide, that means that there are a lot of expertise. There is fragmented work related to critical infrastructures, which also means that poses limits in the term that critical infrastructures are dependent on each other. So in terms of interdependencies, that fragmented work needs to be outdated, and we need to provide extended framework, extended thinking to provide enough framework for thinking in a systemic way. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for your participation and for your presence here. Thank you.